are doing the first ever read-through of the play, Those Turbulent Sons, a Green Mountain Boy story. I'm very thankful you all came here. We have our amazing cast of, 9 or 10 people. Molly, Quinn, Nate, myself, Gideon, Isaac, Cohen, Nate, Cooper. Did I not say Noah? We got Noah, Cooper, and Zizi. This will go down in the history books as the greatest play of all time. I don't even have my script.
It's actually Monsieur Blanc.
But yes.
Yeah, Monsieur Blanc, is that right?
Hey, what's good, bro?
Okay.
Mr. Wood.
We'll
Are
start.
you British too, Nate?
Yes.
Whoa.
Damn.
All right. Scene 1. Home of Ira Allen. Light appears on stage left where Ira Allen is at his desk with his journal. The rest of the stage is dim.
Bennington, September 23rd, 1775. I have started this journal in hopes that in the future of this growing republic, our efforts have not been forgotten. My eldest brother, Ethan, has written to me that the conquest to free our Canadian brothers is almost finished. The success that we have endeavored in the North has inspired me to reminisce on our own victories in the grants.
Ethan Allen appears rugged, disheveled, and distressed.
The year was 1768. I was almost an adult when my brother was ordered out of Massachusetts. He was always in some sort of trouble since our father passed away, though I have always admired his perseverance to stay true to himself.
Ethan Allen arrives home in Salisbury. Mary Brownson, Ethan's wife, is cleaning up the dinner table.
Ethan, you're finally home. There's a few bites of bread left from the kids' supper if you're hungry.
I don't want anything.
I thought you'd say that. Ethan, you've been getting home late every night, and not once have you told me what's going on in your life. All you leave me to do is pray that you're all right.
It hasn't anything to do with you.
It doesn't matter if I'm not a part of your schemes. I'm your wife.
Mary, it'd be best if you just leave it be. I've had a long day and something has come up.
Is that long day of yours what I smell from here?
What?
You reek of alcohol. Is that where you go? You leave me here with our children while you go and drink the day away.
No, I promise it's not that. Now, I know that since I decided to expand the ironworks business, we've struggled a little bit more, but I know it will be worth it soon. I promise.
How?
I've been working out an agreement with my brother, and once we shake on it, he's going to help me turn it into a profit.
You expect me to believe that?
Yes?
Ethan, sometimes you act so stupid it makes me think you might actually be.
I need to tell you something.
It better be about where you've been.
Are the kids asleep?
Yes. Put them down 10 minutes before you got here.
Good.
What is it?
I'm leaving.
What?
I can't stay here for long. I need to go. I came here just to grab a few things before I head out. I don't have much time and...
And what? Leave me here with our children? Having them wake up in the morning to learn their father has left them?
It's not like that.
Ethan, young Lucy is sick.
What?
If you ever decided to spend time with your family, you would have known that she'd had a fever for the past 3 days.
Is she gonna be all right?
I don't know. I sent for the doctor yesterday, and she said only time will tell if she improves.
I can't stay here.
Are you serious?
There's no other choice, Mary. It's either I leave now or be thrown into jail. I was at the tavern with my brother, and I got in a fight with some poltroon a few days back. Postboy gave me a message today from the colony of Massachusetts ordering me to leave the area.
You're such an imbecile. You just couldn't keep your mouth shut, could you? I was an idiot to give myself away to you.
I've already talked to my brother Heman. He's gonna be here in the morning and will help out with the farm while I'm away.
You're just going to get yourself in more trouble wherever you go.
No, I'm going to the land that no one has settled yet. Baker wrote to me last month of cheap land grants up north that are being sold by New Hampshire's governor, a place where men can live freely by their own accord. He wrote to me, only a fool wouldn't be interested in a deal like this. I'll stay with him for the time being. I promise I'll write to you.
You promise to write?
I swear by it.
Okay. Get your things and go before you wake the kids.
Ethan gathers his things and begins to exit. I should be gone only for a few months. Once I believe the colony has forgotten about me, I'll return.
I pray to the Lord that you'll find some sense on the way.
There's no need for that. Mary Brownson and the set fade away, leaving Ethan Allen on the stage, roaming.
Ethan forgot to mention the reason why he got into the fight. Earlier, Ethan had a few too many drinks with his brother and landed up arguing with locals that God didn't care about us. If she knew that, there would be no Ethan left for a constable to arrest. So, north Ethan went. He left his home of Northampton and headed out to Arlington with our cousin. Of course, on his journey north, Ethan continued to get into fights with locals.
As Ethan is traveling, he bumps into a fellow traveler.
My lord, have you lost your mind?
Listen, pal, all I'm saying is, when we die, all of God's creations will be reincarnated as horses. As for me, I will become a white stallion.
King George lets anyone sail over here nowadays.
Local citizen exits.
Nonetheless, Ethan was able to make it to Arlington, mostly unscathed.
Ira Allen exits. Scene 2, Town of Arlington. As Ethan Allen is roaming the stage, the town starts to emerge with townsfolk crossing as the set is brought in. Through all the commotion, there is a town crier yelling at the most recent news.
Hear ye, hear ye! Virginia declares Britain's taxation on the colonies illegal as boycotts against British goods grow. Colonies agree to not pay British taxes unless represented in Parliament fairly.
I'll take a paper.
The citizen offers money.
You think that's worth something? I only take British sterling or New York currency.
It's got as much value as any other currency. This here is New Hampshire shilling, and I intend to use it as so.
Take your coins somewhere else. I have no fancy with it.
The town of Arlington has no fancy with you belonging here if you won't accept the colony's own coin.
Arlington citizen exits. Ethan crosses to the town crier. Hey, do you know where I could find a man with the name of Remember Baker? Big fella. Looks like he'd quarrel with his own shadow if it looked at him funny.
How would I know? Sounds like a buffoon to me. Are you gonna buy a paper or not?
Now listen here, I did... Remember Baker is heard from the other side of the stage, arguing with the Yorker merchant.
Now listen here. I didn't leave my own home to get hassled by a Yorker. You think you can come into our town and sell eggs at these prices? You're absurd.
These are good eggs, mister. The best eggs you can find around here. And this is New York land. Some fake land grant don't take away the right away from New York to look after this area.
Ethan Allen hears the commotion and walks over to Remember Baker, grabbing the Yorker merchant by his collar.
You know what I do to Yorkers like you? Ethan! Cousin, you finally made it. Welcome to Arlington. How are you?
It's great to finally recognize a face around here. What's all this yelling about?
Don't you know? Loyalists in New York have been declaring that our way of life isn't legal. They've been threatening to take our homes away, but they haven't had the gall to actually do anything about it.
So you lied about those land grants you wrote of in your letter?
No, it's not like that at all. Governor Wentworth's land grants are legitimate, even if the New Yorkers refuse to believe it.
Have you thought about writing a pamphlet to the colony? If you can get the people to read about the conflict, then maybe action can be taken about what's going on.
Some ink-stained papers won't do anything to settle this. You know better than that, Ethan.
I'd like to get my opinion out there any way possible. You might want to try it as well.
I ought to go over there and show them my feelings in person. I cleared the trees, built my house by myself, and they think they can just dictate how I live? I fought those Frenchies and Indians. What's to stop me from knocking a few Yorkers down a peg?
They could just be bluffing. They could only try to do something if they send redcoats this way.
And I'll be ready to send them running for the hills.
Baker, I can hear you shouting from across town. Are you trying to get yourself in another scuffle? Ethan, what on earth are you doing here?
I could ask you the same question, cousin. I've come to see if the air and the grants is as free as Baker says they are. He's even helped me find a home right here in Arlington.
I moved up here a few months ago to help my father research how new herbs in the area can improve medicine. Baker, I was hoping to see you before I return to my father. Here are the herbs you wanted.
Thank you, Seth. I was just going to show Ethan around town since he just arrived.
Knowing you, Ethan, you've probably already seen some way to make a profit out of this town.
Oh no, I don't intend to settle here permanently. My brothers Ira and Heman would be much more interested in the land here.
You Allens are always thinking about money. I'm surprised you haven't found your way out to the tavern yet.
Don't worry, I was gonna wait to show him that on that last on the tour.
I'll let you two go on your way then. Baker, can we talk for a second?
Seth pulls Baker to the side.
I've heard word from travelers that some redcoats have been marching this way out of Albany.
Do you think they're gonna do something?
That's the thing. I'm unsure. With the tension amongst the colonies, the redcoats' movements have been harder to understand.
A distant drum is heard.
We must get the town ready for them.
Baker, you know that's no easy feat. The freedom of this land is also its pitfall. People all think different things about New York and the Redcoats, and neither of us are able to. Oh my gosh. Neither of us are able enough to influence a whole town to work together.
We're just gonna have to try.
Does anyone hear that? The townsfolk start to talk and get anxious as they hear and then see a band of redcoats walking in the town. Joseph Grimwald enters with redcoat soldier Tommy behind.
Attention, people of Arlington. On behalf of the British Crown and Governor Cadwallader Colden of New York, this town is rightfully under New York authority. All grants given out by the Governor of New Hampshire are illegitimate. If you wish to continue living on this land, you must pay the fees that all New Yorkers pay, or face eviction.
What? I don't know who you think you are, but you're not taking my home or anyone else's away. We already paid for this land.
Baker!
Oh, so we have someone who thinks they can stand against the Crown. What's your name?
I'm done with this crap you people think you can enforce on us. We build these farms, these homes, these towns, and all of your crown-looking asses sail over here and think it's all yours. Keep in mind the name Remember Baker. Write it down. Try sending some redcoats to my home and see what happens.
The governor wasn't fooling around when he told me that the crudest of people lived on these lands. Seize him.
2 redcoats attempt to seize Remember Baker. He fights back, but they eventually bring him down to his knees.
Oh, you're quite the fighter, I do have to say. I actually do agree with you. I have no interest in putting myself amongst the filth of these colonies. However, when I hear the duty to put them back into their place. However, when I hear that subjects of the British Crown are defiling its name, it is my duty to put them back into their place. Would you like to say anything more on behalf of your people?
Go to hell.
Baker spits at Grimwald.
So be it.
Joseph Grimwald bashes Remember Baker's head with the butt of his gun, knocking Remember Baker out. Ethan tries to interject himself, but Seth holds him back.
Does anyone else have something to say? I didn't think so. You have 2 weeks to either decide to pay the fee or to leave. The decision is in each of your hands.
But Grimald, we were ordered to give them a month.
Do these people look like they deserve a month? I've had enough. It's time to go. Also, write down that name, Baker. See if he tries to stir any more trouble after today.
Joseph Grimwald leads the band of redcoats and exits. Townsfolk begin to exit as well after the redcoats are gone. Ethan Allen and Seth Warner run over to check on Remember Baker, who is still lying on the ground. Baker, are you all right? He's not moving.
Get him up. We'll bring him to my father.
They pull Remember Baker up and exit. Scene 3, doctor's office. The boys enter the doctor's office and lay Baker onto a bed. Through the noise, Benjamin Warner enters to see who has come in.
Good morrow, boys. What seems to be... Seth, what happened? You look ill.
Don't worry about me, Father. It's Baker. A group of redcoats came into town and he couldn't control himself.
Ah, so they have finally made their way here. Could you help me bring Baker to the back so I can better look at him?
Benjamin and Seth Warner carry Baker off stage, leaving Ethan alone in his office. Seth Warner returns back to the office. Seth, what happened back there?
Honestly, Ethan, I didn't really believe it when I heard that this was happening around the Grants. I certainly didn't think it would ever reach a place like this.
What are you talking about?
The Yorker governor has gotten power hungry. He sent redcoats in to raid our towns and claim ownership of all land because it's under New York rule. He's threatened to evict the whole territory unless we pay whatever amount he wants. I thought he was just bluffing, but word spread that towns in the north were getting expelled.
What's going to happen here?
I don't know, but I can't let any redcoat or Yorker they send our way hurt another person in this town.
Benjamin Warner re-enters.
Good news, boys. Baker is going to be all right. He's starting to wake up now.
Ethan and Seth head towards the door.
Whoa, boys, give him some time before you see him. Come back tomorrow, and he'll be in much better shape.
All right, Ethan, let's discuss this further at the tavern. I'll show you the way.
Now, what are you planning on doing, son?
We're going to make this right.
All that's going to do is make things worse in this town. You saw what they did to Baker. Imagine what will happen if they come back. Let the Crown take care of this.
I'm not going to let them come back. They have taken enough from the hard-working people of this land. The Crown is only in it to prosper off our suffering. I don't know how much longer we can allow people like you to bend their necks to a distant king who knows not our faces nor our names, but only our coin. I was not appointed to be a highway surveyor just for our land to be taken away from us. Like Baker said, We till these fields, we build these towns, we raise our children under the sky. This land is ours.
I'm gonna be right there with you, cousin. They're my land grants too, and I'm tired of what the crown thinks they can get away with. Ethan and Seth shake hands as the lights fade to black. Scene 4, Bennington Tavern. The set is now inside a local tavern, filled with the patrons having a good time. Ethan and Seth enter the tavern. Ira Allen enters to the side.
The Catamount Tavern in Bennington was just south of Arlington and was a common meeting place for those looking to share patriot ideals and to spread the word of any news that was happening in the area. It was also a great place to go if you do not want to remember what you were doing the previous night when you woke up in the horse's stable.
Ira Allen exits.
Think you'll like it here, Ethan? They bring in rum from all over the Caribbean. Though I do have to say the cider they make is the best.
I'll take your word for it then. 2 rounds of the hardest cider you got.
Actually, just make that one. Ethan, there's still much to discuss, and it would be best for me not to drink.
I totally understand. Bartender, 2 rounds, please.
I think the best course of action currently is to fight New York in the courts. The governor is sending redcoats into our territory to throw us off our land, even though they don't have the legal backing for it.
How will we prove we have ownership over the land?
With the land grants Governor Wentworth has signed to us and everyone else living here. If we can rally a group of people together, it will be enough evidence to prove that they are legitimate.
How are we going to convince people to join us to go against the colony of New York? I don't think many people will just have the gall to stand up.
You're looking at 2 people right now. These men and women all have rightfully fought and purchased the land they live on. Now, I'm still thinking of a way to get people fully on board.
Hey, everyone! Drinks are on me! You said you were a highway surveyor, right? You can afford this.
Oh, Ethan. Bartender, what's the hardest thing you have?
Well, actually, we just got a bottle of rum that came from Cuba.
I'll have that.
As Seth begins to drink, Ethan is going around the tavern talking with patrons about the idea of joining the case against New York. What do you think of New York taking the land you rightfully own? Is anyone tavern
no
patron?
numbers.
Just take it.
I think it's a load of rubbish. They got no right telling me how to live.
How would you feel if there was a way to make it so New York can't take your home?
Yeah, and what way would that be?
We, the people of this land, fight New York by taking them to the courts. Rightfully show them our land grants, and this problem will finally be solved.
That sounds like a nice idea, but don't include me in any part of that. I don't want my name becoming a target for New York or that bloody back colonel.
Fine. Suit yourself.
Hey, did I just hear you talking about fighting New York?
Yes, sir. We want to fight them in the court of law.
Then count me in. I want to kick some New York ass.
As the party continues, 2 redcoats enter the tavern, and the tavern goes quiet. Ethan is loosened up considerably from the alcohol.
What's this all about?
I think you 2 should be going now. The redcoat soldier walks up to Ethan. Ethan takes a swing at his head, knocking the soldier out. The other soldier tries to reach for his pistol, but Ethan disarms him and points the pistol back at him. I think you and your friend here should get off the floor of this fine establishment and leave. And I don't want to be hearing about this anywhere else. The people of Bennington are going to have a few more problems with your kind. The knocked out soldier is finally starting to get up as the other redcoats runs over to help him on his feet and leave. After they left, the whole tavern cheers for Ethan. If we don't want problems like this to grow worse, we need to bring the fight to New York now. My brothers and sisters, I'm asking you to join me in my cousin's fight against the power-hungry New York by proving our land that our land grants are legitimate on the court level. With the evidence of your grants, New York can no longer claim that this is their land. Who's with me?
Yeah! Ethan, what has gotten into you?
A little liquid courage goes a long way, cousin.
Excuse me, my name is Jared Ingersoll, and I think I can be of some assistance to you in your cause.
Do you have land grants?
No, but I am a lawyer, and I'm willing to represent you in the case against New York. What is currently happening in the colonies is running out of control, and any way to have a leg up against the crown is a win for all.
Well, I'm glad to be working with you. Here's to the cause. Yay. Lights go out, only leaving a spotlight on Ethan and Jared, frozen, clinking glasses. Scene 5, courthouse. Ethan and Jared unfreeze as the courtroom set is brought in, and they sit at their table. On the other side of the stage is the Supreme Court Judge of New York, Livingston, in his bench alongside his clerk.
All rise for His Honor, Judge Livingston.
You can be seated.
Your Honor, I stand before you representing 9 plaintiffs in the case that the colony of New York has wrongfully attempted to take the land and homes of the people living on land east of where we stand now. Over the last decade, turmoil and conflict have risen between Yankees and Yorkers over who takes claim over the land between New Hampshire and New York. Though King George attempted to put these disputes to rest in 1764, they still continue. I hope that today will be when these quarrels will come to an end, with the evidence gathered to rightfully prove that these land grants are legitimate.
Very well. Present the evidence you have gathered.
I bring forward to you a charter written and signed by Governor Wentworth of New Hampshire, granting the foundation of the town Shaftesbury on the land in which it sits on today.
Livington inspects the charter.
This charter is not applicable to the case in question. Do you have any other evidence you would like to present?
Yes. Indeed I do. I bring forward the charter to found the town of Windsor.
Livingston inspects the charter.
Yet again, Mr. Ingersoll, I cannot deem this as evidence. Do you have anything other than these so-called charters? Or are you here to waste my time?
Your Honor, these charters have been signed by the Governor of New Hampshire. What else do you want to qualify these as legitimate charters?
It does not matter that your sacred governor wrote these. His actions were illegal, violating the colony of New York's claim over the land which these towns now reside.
Do you choose not to recognize that New Hampshire took claim over these lands 15 years before your colony ever considered to reside in the land?
I do recognize that. However, the Crown deemed the territorial line of the colony of New York to be on the Connecticut River, overruling all land residing to New Hampshire to now be under the authority of New York.
Then what was the purpose of this hearing if you refuse to open your ears?
I've been following what has been occurring in your New Hampshire grants, and I know that New York's warnings haven't been nearly effective enough. Maybe with this hearing you will finally understand the message in your little, feeble minds, that the colony of New Hampshire will never possess the land it so desperately wants. And I've heard of your little plaintiff's altercation with some of our Crown's finest men. I could have him arrested right now, but I hope this hearing will make him correct his ways.
The man here with me today has committed no crimes.
Let it be known that no evidence has been given to prove that the said province of New Hampshire ever included the land in question, and that under no authority had ever been vested in any governor of New Hampshire to grant the said lands or to exercise any powers whatsoever there. I thereby declare that New York has full authority to dictate the lands brought into question today, as well as all surrounding lands. Case dismissed.
Now just hold it, you bench-sitting windbag. We didn't come here to have our ass handed to us on a silver plate, then told to go home.
You need to watch your tone, boy, or I may relinquish my generosity.
I know my tone perfectly well. You sit on your mighty bench wielding that gavel like a child with a wooden spoon, toying with the lives of people of a land you have never once stood in. You are no judge. You are merely a lapdog belonging to King George in a powdered pelt. The gods of the valleys are not the gods in the hills.
What on earth may you even mean?
Come to Bennington, where the phrase shall be explained. Ethan storms out of the courtroom, leaving Jared, Livingston, and the clerk.
My apologies. Ethan!
Jared runs out of the courtroom, blackout. Scene 6, Bennington Tavern. The tavern is filled with life in preparation to hear the news of the court case. Baker and Seth are seen discussing at the table. On the wall of the tavern, there is now a wanted poster for Ethan.
How do you think it went?
Can't say. Ethan has plenty enough evidence to certainly win the case.
Then in a while he should come in here to announce our liberty from those tyrants.
I'm not saying that. The Crown has backed New York in the past, and they'll get support today as well. They may have something that will refuse the charters.
Look around you, Seth. We got a lot of people relying on Ethan here. If we don't win, we need to fight. Look at the wall. Ethan has gone into New York, and now they're looking for him.
I hear you, Baker, but we need to have faith that the New Yorkers will follow the legal process, and Ethan doesn't try to stir up trouble.
You know, I'd say you didn't give those 2 redcoats that came in here a fair enough beating. After what Ethan did to them, if they come back here again, I'll make sure they won't be able to walk back to their beloved colonel.
Fine, Baker, but first let's see what our cousin has to say before we all get up in his arms.
Ethan Allen and Jared Ingersoll enter.
Ethan, you're back.
Tell us everything.
The happy, celebratory mood of the tavern starts to die as Ethan's face is observed. Those damn fools! They didn't even give us a chance to speak before throwing our case out.
What do you mean?
The judge deemed all evidence unapplicable for the case. He merely entertained our argument for the sake of his own amusement. He never planned to listen.
Those bastards! I say we make them listen to our argument.
Did anything else happen, Ethan?
I can say what happened. Before we left, this loggerhead threatened the judge and the entirety of New York.
Ethan, is this true?
Yes, it's true. The crowded tavern erupts into various emotion on the news.
There must be some way to settle this peacefully with the Yorkers.
I'm tired of trying to play a game of peace with them. When have they ever treated us right?
Baker is right, Seth. Far too long we've tried to be civil with the uncivilized. We have witnessed the beatings of our own people, of our own friends, by men who call themselves Yorkers and soldiers of the crown. People have lost their homes and livelihoods from taxes we don't owe. There are men in these lands who believe themselves to be king and rule over the way we live and survive. Well, it's time we show them the only rulers are ourselves. They've even gone and put my head up for a price. Who's to say they won't do the same to the rest of us if we speak out? Will we continue to tolerate these crimes against our people?
No!
Then I hereby declare we form a militia right here in this town of Bennington. From this moment on, we, the people of Bennington, will oppose any jurisdiction by both the colony of New York and the British Crown.
Ethan, it takes more to form a militia than just a verbal decree.
Like what?
First, you need people willing to actually fight.
Who here is sick of doing nothing and wants to make a change?
I'm with you.
Count me in too.
More and more tavern folk come forward to join Ethan. See? We got the people.
What about an elected colonel chosen by the people of the town?
I vote to elect Ethan Allen as the colonel of the New Hampshire men.
Thank you, Baker. I like that name.
What about Warner? He's known these lands longer and better. I vote to elect Seth Warner to be colonel of the New Hampshire boys.
All right, we'll put it to a vote. Who votes for Seth Warner to lead as colonel? Few raise their hand in support. And who votes to have me lead the way to give those sorry-ass Yorkers a taste of their own medicine? It's settled then. In the morning, we'll begin recruiting all the able-bodied men in the area.
I nominate myself and Seth Warner as captains.
Does anyone hold an opposition to that motion? Okay, Baker? Okay. Baker, I want you to begin recruiting men in Arlington starting tomorrow morning. If we can get the support of the surrounding towns, we can start taking back the land we lost from the Yorkers and Redcoats. Warner and I will stay in Bennington to recruit and begin training.
I'll take the lead in the training. You can gather the masses.
Okay, sounds good to me. Men, this is a moment in history that will not be forgotten. Long before those loyalist Yorkers know it, they'll be wishing they're on a ship to Britain where they belong. Look alive, because tomorrow we'll all be wanted men by New York and the Crown. Yeah. Scene 7, Grimwald's office.
Colonel Grimwald, have you heard what's occurring in the New Hampshire grants?
Do not call it by that name. It is New York land. What have I told you about interrupting me during my study?
Do not interrupt you, sir.
I could have you flogged if you continue to test my patience.
I apologize, Colonel Grimwald, but it is important you hear this.
What have I not heard about these so-called New Hampshire grants? That matters to me. Have they finally begun showing their appreciation for what we do for them?
Reports are coming in that a militia formed out of Bennington are attacking Yorkers and British soldiers, pushing them out of their homes.
What? Surely the men already stationed in those lands... Oh, that was a bit... What? Surely the men already stationed in those lands have taken control of the situation.
No, sir. Quite the opposite. It appears through their surprise ambushes, our soldiers have retreated, allowing them to govern the land themselves.
I refuse to believe that a group of untrained Whigs living in the middle of the forest have defeated our men. It's preposterous!
Tommy pulls out a paper.
The leaders took 2 men captive and forced them to watch them burn their newly constructed cabins. He told our men, go your way now and complain to that damn scoundrel, your governor. Goddamn your governor, laws. King's Council and Assembly.
My God! My God! Are these men all right and back in British hands?
Yes, Colonel, they're all right.
You speak of their leader. What's his name?
His name is Colonel Ethan Allen, and he leads along his cousin Seth Warner and Remember Baker.
One of those names. It sounds familiar. That Remember Baker. Has he crossed paths with our regiment in the past?
I do not recall, Colonel.
I remember now. That scoundrel! He was the idiot that dared to defy me in Arlington. Tommy, find Captain Monroe and tell him to organize a group of men to find and capture militia leader Remember Baker alive and bring him back here to New York.
Tommy begins the exit.
Also, Tommy, come back to me in an hour. I will give you a letter to bring to the governor. A bounty will be placed on each one of the leaders' heads.
I believe Ethan Allen already has a bounty from a past conflict with 2 of our men.
No, that's fine. The higher the price, the more danger he'll have to face.
Yes, Colonel Grimald.
Tommy exits.
A bunch of boys hiding in the Green Mountain. They prey on the weak. On the weak think they are a militia. They are just a ravaged mob. Soon they'll learn what true authority is.
Scene fades to black as Grimald stands over his desk. Scene 8, Bennington Tavern. Ethan, Seth, Baker, and the New Hampshire men are celebrating their recent victories and seizing control with the Grants. The mood is high and the rum is flowing.
I had my doubts, Ethan, but we've really done it. I've never seen so many people united under one ambition.
Yeah, and I've never seen... Yeah. And I've never seen a bloody-backed redcoat run off squealing like we made them do.
The crown has been used to slaving their people. Seeing their slaves filled the burning passion of liberty would scare any one of their soldiers off.
So what do we do now?
We need to expand our influence north to Canada. Getting the entirety of the Grants to be on our side will cement our authority over New York.
Ethan, there's certainly not enough of us to spread out at this current moment. Just because of a few small victories doesn't mean we have the power to push through any British opposition.
Then what do you say we do, Seth?
We need to fortify our control locally, recruit from more towns nearby. Then, if we can do that, we make a unit that will march out to the farther towns to spread the word of our fight against New York.
Seth, I appreciate your diplomacy, but we don't have the time for that. We need to keep our aggressions and not give our enemies time to think. Tavern Patron 2 comes running in.
Colonel Allen, look what just came in from New York.
Tavern Patron 2 hands Ethan Allen a warrant paper. Well, look at this. The governor of New York thinks he can stop us by writing a few threats.
Let me see what it says. The warrant for the arrest of the leaders, Ethan Allen, Seth Warner, and Remember Baker, and the mob found out of Bennington, is hereby ordered. For the capture of any individual listed, the individual that brings them to a New York court of law shall be awarded 20 pounds for each captured.
If they're willing to give out that amount of money, I might as well turn myself in.
Ethan, do you realize that this puts us and everyone here in danger, right?
Seth, when we decided to form this militia, we all understood what it takes to achieve liberty is to put ourselves in danger for the greater good. Is that right, fellas?
That's right.
Yeah.
This warrant just proves our fight is righteous. The governor is scared, and we're gonna keep him scared.
Yeah!
And we need to expand our outreach to the rest of these lands. Now, I've already written to my youngest brother, Ira, to survey the lands north of here. He's good with financing land, and with his help, I think we can start buying up more land before any Yorker takes it for himself.
You've already planned for this?
Liberty is achieved through forward thinking.
Look what it says at the bottom of this warrant. To those who hold any connection with this unlawful militia, know that our troops will track you down and chase the collection of boys that you are into the Green Mountains. Turn yourselves in now, or face the full punishment of your actions.
I don't like the sound of the threats, Ethan. The British army's never surrendered before, and we're just mere farm people.
They can make all the threats they want. We still have the upper hand on them.
How? We're outnumbered, outgunned, and untrained in comparison to them.
But they don't know that for certain. We may be an army of dozens, or of the thousands. They don't know these Green Mountains like we do, and we're going to keep them thinking we're bigger than we are.
What we lack in numbers, we make up for in strength.
Yeah! So let them think what they want to believe. We are the Green Mountain Boys, and as long as we're still alive, no Yorker or Redcoat is taking our freedom away. So, Seth, relax. Have a pint or two. It's on me. We can discuss further plans tomorrow morning. Baker, come join us.
I'd love to stay, but I need to get home. The wife has been all worried about me lately, and my kid needs me.
Come on. 1 or 2 drinks won't hurt.
Any other time, but I best be leaving now. It's getting dark, and Arlington isn't a short ride away. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you soon. Meet here at the tavern.
Okay.
Baker leaves the tavern, forgetting his hat behind.
You seriously wrote your brother into this?
It didn't take much convincing. Once I wrote about the money he could make, the next letter he sent told me he was already riding up to survey the land.
I haven't seen him since I was little. How is he?
He's getting by for himself. He's been a little rascal trying to make a profit anywhere he goes, and so far it hasn't been working out too well for himself. But I believe he'll turn it around soon enough.
It's Ira, right?
Yes.
Okay. You really think Ira is going to help? What did you call it? The Green Mountain Boys with securing more land away from New York?
He's always been able to slide out of any trouble he faces. There's a reason why he hasn't gone bankrupt yet.
Yet?
Lay off the kid. We're gonna be fine.
All right. Hey, did Baker leave his hat behind?
It looks like it. Ethan looks at the clock. Oh my. Baker wasn't lying about the time. I should probably head on my way to Arlington as well for the night. I'll bring Baker his hat on the way.
All right, then I shall go retire for the night also.
You've never seen my home, have you?
No, I have not.
How about you come spend the night at my home? You and I are wanted criminals, after all. It'd be safer to go somewhere together.
Well, I don't know about that. My home isn't far from here.
Mine isn't either. It's just on the outskirts of Arlington, closer to Bennington and to Baker's. There's a spare room there you can sleep in.
Fine. I guess I'll go with you, but just for this one trip. I still need to help my father with things back home.
Old goat is probably sleeping by now. He won't notice. Let's get on our way.
All right.
Ethan and Seth exit the tavern as the partying continues within, and the lights fade to dark. Scene 9, inside Baker's home. The stage lights up inside the log cabin. The dinner table is set. Remember, Baker enters the home.
Ozzy?
Yeah.
Desiree, Ozzy, I'm home.
Desiree Baker enters from the opposite side of Remember Baker and embraces into a hug.
You're home. Oh, how I missed you. How are you? Is everything okay?
I missed my I missed you too. I'm all right. We've managed to scare away the redcoats for now. We won't have to worry about them interfering with us again. Where's Ozzy?
He should be sleeping.
Ozzy Baker runs onto the stage to embrace Remember Baker into a hug.
Father, you've returned!
How is my little man?
I've been cutting all the wood and keeping up with everything you told me to do while you've been gone.
He's matured quite a lot since your absence.
I can see. How about tomorrow before I leave we go hunting, Ozzy? I can teach you how to shoot a bow and arrow. How does that sound?
That sounds great, Father. I've been wanting to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow. When I learn that, I can learn how to shoot a musket like you do.
I think you're still a little too young for that, my boy. Maybe in a year or two.
Baker, did you say you were leaving tomorrow?
Yes, but I plan to make a lot more trips back here in between what's going on with the grants in New York. Sit down at the table. I'll tell you of everything that has been going on.
The family sits at the table.
How are your cousins? Has Ethan been faring well since he's moved up here? It is such an awful day when those sick men came into this town and attacked you.
Ethan has really made a name for himself. He was voted the colonel of our militia, and we have many thanks to give him for what he's done for the people here.
How about Seth?
Seth has been keeping Ethan in check and leading us. Don't let him know I said this, but without him we wouldn't have any self-discipline or chance to give these redcoats what's coming for them.
Father, when can I help fight the Yorkers?
Son, I hope by the time you're old enough to join, the problem will be long gone.
Baker, I don't know how much longer we can keep living like this. I have my full trust in you, but we miss you. Ozzy is here growing up, and you aren't here to watch it happen.
I know. The Green Mountain Boys are planning to take the fight to New York soon. Ethan says we're going to buy up the rest of the land in the grants to stop any Yorker from making a claim on it.
The Green Mountain Boys? That's a marvelous name! Mother, can I please join Father in his travels?
No.
No, Ozzy, you need to stay here and look after the home. Baker, where on earth are you going to get the money to buy all this land?
I don't know, but it seems that Ethan has made a plan with his brother to make it work.
Another Allen brother? Baker, you know that family is notorious for being bad at business. I just hope you aren't putting yourself in too much danger.
Everything is going to be fine, dear. The Yorkers are scared of us. They won't do anything drastic.
Can you promise me you'll stop fighting if you put your life at risk for Ozzy and my sake?
I can't make that promise. I won't ever let those loyalists dictate my life or anyone else's here again. They would need to cut off my head before I stop fighting.
Please don't say those things in front of our son. If I cannot change your life, then at least we can enjoy the time we have together.
A loud series of bangs are heard on the door of the cabin from outside.
Remember, Baker, under the warrant for your arrest by the colony of New York, we demand you come out of your home immediately.
Warrant for your arrest? Baker, what is going on?
I'll handle it. Hide yourself and Ozzy.
Desiree and Ozzy exit the stage to hide.
Get the hell out of here, you bastards! I'm going nowhere with you!
So be it, Mr. Baker.
A series of axe swings attack the door. Baker prepares himself to fight. Once the door is broken down, Baker manages to knock out the first soldier that enters. Baker manages to disarm the soldier with the axe and starts using it to fight. As more soldiers enter, he fights off to his best ability, but is eventually brought down to his knees and restrained.
You are very fortunate that I was ordered to capture you alive. Otherwise, you'd already be dead. Weren't there others in here with you?
John Monroe turns to his soldiers.
Find them.
There's no one here with me.
The soldiers find Desiree and Ozzy hiding, bringing them out for Baker to see.
Not so strong now that you don't have a militia with you. Not if you were ever strong in the first place. You're all just farmers who can't think for themselves.
You can do whatever you want to me, but leave my family out of this.
I wish it was that simple, but being the brute you are, you just had to fight back and make things more complicated.
What do you want with me?
Are you that dense? You're a wanted man, Mr. Baker. However, it's not me who wants to see you alive.
Who?
You've been invited to meet with Colonel Grimwald, back where you've been stationed in New York. I'd say it's a big honor, but for you, I'd say otherwise.
Grimwald?
Name ringing a bell? Maybe not from that hit in the head you received from his visit to Arlington.
What does that bastard want from me?
He's taken personal offense to what you and your ragtag group of rebels are doing, and is seeking to see you all be punished for his very hand back at the fort.
I'd rather die than be humiliated by the likes of you.
I favor if you were going to be executed right here too. Such a waste of resources and time to bring you back alive. But an order is an order.
What should we do with the woman and the kid?
The order was only to keep Remember Baker alive. Take those out to the back of the cabin and have them shot.
But Captain, they've done nothing wrong.
They are living with the enemy. In times like these, we need to squish any form of rebellion before these settlers get too cocky. Cornell Grimbold would agree with me. Now bring them out back.
No, don't do it! I'll go quietly, just leave them be!
You should have thought of that before deciding to attack us.
Two redcoats drag Desiree and Ozzy to the door to leave. As they exit, they are struck down by Ethan and Seth Warner. They enter and point their pistols at the remaining redcoats.
Ethan!
Nobody move!
So you must be their leader, Ethan Allen.
Indeed I am, and now I want you gone and out of these lands along with the rest of your men.
Ethan, how did you know to come?
We heard a commotion and we wanted to see if everything was all right.
With all these leaders of your little group right here right now, what's stopping me from ordering my men to shoot you?
Because you wouldn't be getting very far before finding an iron ball right in your head. Some of my Green Mountain boys are outside hiding in the woods. You'd be dead before you even see one. We got you outnumbered 100 to 4.
I don't believe that at all.
Want to find out? Monroe thinks it over.
Release Mr. Baker.
Remember, Baker turns around and punches one of the redcoats in the face. Now, gather your men and leave this land. Go back to your commander, and if the Green Mountain boys ever see another redcoat, they won't be so lucky to return still breathing. John Monroe gathers his unit and exits the cabin. Seth, are they gone?
No sign of them, Ethan.
Baker runs to embrace his family.
Go rest. I won't ever let this happen again.
Desiree and Ozzy exit to their room.
Baker, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm alright. Just a few bruises and cuts.
I'm glad we came when we did.
Is there seriously 100 of us out there in those woods?
No, not at all. It's just Seth and I.
I'm glad they fell for it. I don't know what we would have done if they didn't. My guns weren't even loaded.
What the hell happened here, Baker?
Damn redcoats snuck up on me and my family. Those bastards are wicked enough to attack women and children.
Did they say anything to you?
The guy said he was ordered by Colonel Grimwald to take me back to their fort. Grimwald probably wanted to beat the shit out of me until I was dead himself.
That's the colonel who came to Arlington a while back and attacked our people. Oh, I wish we could have done something to him right then and there.
He did all this to what? Send a message?
And a message he sent. We'll have his head for this.
Now, Ethan, jumping at murder is extreme.
Extreme? Seth, these animals were ready to kill an innocent woman and child and march Baker off to his death. The only way to retaliate with violence is violence of our own.
Ethan, do you promise that we're gonna make those bastards pay?
Every man must arm himself with a good musket, a pound of gunpowder, and a sharp tomahawk. They may condemn us to be hung for refusing to place our own necks in the halter, but how do these fools calculate to hang a Green Mountain boy before they take him? We are at war with New York, gentlemen. I have no intention of losing.
We should go now. Baker, rest and spend some time with your family. We'll come to your home to discuss our next course of action when you're feeling better.
Here's your hat. Ethan takes the hat off of his head and hands it to Baker. Ethan and Seth exit, leaving Baker in his home. Lights fade to black. Scene 10, Grimwald's office. The lights fade in to show Grimwald angered by the recent events as John Monroe and Tommy stand there.
You ran away? What type of soldier are you?
Colonel, we were surrounded by the Green Mountain Boys. We didn't have any options.
Oh, is that what those fools are calling themselves now? How ridiculous! You were outsmarted by a group of clowns.
Under my jurisdiction, I took the appropriate measures to ensure the least amount of casualties of my men. You must understand, with the tension boiling in the colonies, an act like this could escalate things even further.
They are a bunch of farmers. We are commanding officers of the Royal British Army. We hold authority over the colonies, and we will not allow any settler to trample over us.
I understand, sir, but you must not fall to their level of impudence in your anger. If we choose, we can return to the land stronger and easily overpower them.
You're right. I have been a fool.
Thank you, sir.
I should have gone instead of letting someone incompetent like you lead us into giving those boys an ego boost. You're dismissed. Leave at once.
John exits as Tommy follows.
Not you, Tommy. Stay.
Yes, Colonel.
In times like these, I come to really appreciate soldiers that listen and do as they are told, like yourself.
Thank you, Colonel.
Weird. I have decided that it is up to me to go back to the Grants and observe the damage that has occurred, and I want you alongside me.
Shall I gather the soldiers?
No, that can wait. I will pick a select few myself. In a week or two, we will ride out of Bennington. In the meantime, can you prepare me a cup of tea?
Yes, Colonel.
You are dismissed.
Tommy exits.
These fools! Can't they see that all I am trying to do is help them? We protect their freedoms, ensure free trade, and they thank us by attacking our own men. They should treat us as their saviors from the savagery that lurks in the great frontier. Yet instead they paint us as the vile beasts instead. What is it that makes them behave like this? It is not natural instinct to be afraid of the natural order that one cannot control. Oh wait, what is it that makes them behave like this? Is it natural instinct to be afraid of the natural order that one cannot control? Well, man, since the time of the ancients, has understood that there is a class system to humanity, and it cannot be toiled with. The plebeians tried to change it in Rome, but it all reverts back to its rightful order. These farmers will never understand, because they lack the knowledge to think any better. I will always remain in my righteous place as a servant of global justice, just as the farmer will remain as the food bringer to humanity's survival. It is time I bring my greatest gift to the people of this colony. Absolute knowledge.
The stage fades to black. Scene 10. Oh, wait, never, not scene 10. Scene 11. Outside Baker's home. Time has passed. Emotions are still high from the events of that fateful night. Baker is sitting on a log, reflecting near a bench he previously carved as Ethan and Seth arrive.
How you holding up, big guy?
My wife is scared to live in her own home. My own son hasn't spoken since it happened. And I don't even know where the bastards that did this to us.
We're gonna get back at them. Don't worry.
It's easy for you to say.
Seth, how many men do we have enlisted in the militia?
A little over 100. Why?
We need to double that. Can we make it happen?
Possibly, but we need larger outreach. People outside of towns like Bennington and Arlington have no reason to join us, simply because there's not a strong enough reason to cover the distance needed to travel.
What happened to Baker last night not enough of a reason? People were almost killed.
The problem is that they were almost killed. People don't want to risk their lives if the matter doesn't affect them personally enough.
We're the reason they can still live in their homes without the fear of it being seized.
Yes, but we've managed to protect them with only 100 men. What's another 100 going to do if it's the same effect?
If we don't act soon, the British are just going to hit us harder than what happened last night. Damn it, if there was just something that could make people join. As Ethan contemplates, Ira Allen unsuspectingly enters.
Hey, big brother, I've been looking all over for you.
Ira? What on earth are you doing here?
I've just returned from my travels up north. You weren't lying about the value of the land. That is the country my soul delights in, and now I'm determined to make a settlement there.
What do you plan to do?
I want to buy land all along the east side of the Champlain Lake. Brother, you better not have lied to me about those land grants, for I will be utterly devastated.
You even have the money for that?
No, but I plan to make a profit when I sell acres of it to other settlers.
You're going to buy the land first, without money, and then attempt to sell it to others.
Yes, that is exactly my plan. Just a few documents is all I need to put it in order, and it'll be mine. Is there a problem?
Brother, you're a genius! Seth, this is how we can expand our outreach.
What do you mean?
We sell the land to settlers, but on the agreement that they will support the Green Mountain Boys by taking arms if called upon.
That's an absurd idea. Who would ever agree to that?
Any patriot that wants to defy the crown while also getting land at a good price, that's who.
It's crazy enough that it just might work.
And on top of that, we can go from town to town offering land to those who will fight just for the cause.
What are you all talking about?
Don't worry about it, brother. All that matters is that we're going to help you and you're going to help us.
All right, then. I do have to say, although some of the land might be harder to sell, on my travels back, I spotted a British fort on the southwestern side of the lake. That might deter some settlers from wanting to live so close to an active military stronghold.
A fort, you say? Did you hear word from any locals about what goes on there?
Not much, only that a good portion of the redcoats that operate in the grants come from that fort. I believe they called it Fort Ticonderoga.
Do you think that could be where they went?
We'll need to send a few men to scout the area. Ira, where are you headed now that you've returned?
I plan to go down to Bennington to begin getting the deeds to purchase the land.
Great! Then we'll go down with you.
Oh, Ethan, I almost forgot. I was told to give this letter to you. It's from your wife, Mary.
Let's get moving.
Ethan doesn't move, entranced by the letter.
Ethan?
I'll catch up to you all. Don't wait for me.
What? Where am I? Oh, suit yourself.
They all exit, leaving just Ethan alone. As Ethan opens the letter, Mary Brownson appears on the opposite side of the stage to Ethan.
Dear Ethan, it's been so awfully lonely since you've left. You've promised me just a few months, yet that appears to have been another lie from the brave and noble Ethan Allen.
You don't understand. I'm fighting for the freedom of our people.
I've heard of your escapades up north. I knew sooner or later you would find yourself in more trouble. Becoming wanted by another colony, though, was something I did not expect from you.
I tried reasoning and going through the courts, but it doesn't work anymore. The system has been corrupted.
I thought I would be sad that you haven't written to me, but instead I feel nothing. I've grown numb by your selfishness and your ignorance to the ones that you should refer to as your family.
I have found life here with my cousins. They are part of the family just as you are to me.
Our children are all okay, if you ever gave them a moment to think about them. Lucy was able to break her fever, and she grew back to health after you left. It's ironic. a father who should promise life to the future generation, but instead runs from his responsibilities. Still, somehow his children full of wonder and hope for the future.
I had no choice.
It was such a pleasurable sight watching Lucy run and play in the fields when she regained her strength. She and the rest of her brothers and sisters have managed to live beautiful lives without the presence of their father.
I promise I'll return once this is settled.
Your brother, Heman, has been keeping good care of us. Sometimes I wish I'd married him rather than yourself. I pray that he doesn't give it to you like Ira did. The children have grown so attached to him.
Mary, I would never do something like that.
I know you have written to him since you have left. He has told me that you offered him the same adventure as you did Ira. Fortunately, it appears he has enough of a heart to stay and care for a family that is not entirely of his own.
There is silence. Ethan reconsiders his choices.
I hope that this letter that I gave to your youngest brother makes it to you, and if you aren't already dead. I pray that you are all right, and if you are, you will finally write back to me. But if you have already passed on to another realm, at least I can let the children know that your abandoning of us was a valiantly fighting for some greater cause, sacrificing your life in the process rather than the truth. You are an unfit father that can never handle the responsibility of the life you have helped bring into this world. Yours, Mary.
The lights on Mary fade away, leaving just Ethan alone. I'm sorry. I'll make this up to you. Soon the British will pay and I'll return home. Mark my words, New York will fall before anyone has a chance to slash me down. The light fades away. Scene 12, town of Bennington. There's a crowd brewing outside the courthouse. Multiple cases decided on the homes of landowners in the New Hampshire grants are occurring today, and the public doesn't want any of the decisions to go through. There are 4 redcoats guarding the front door. The crowd that is already there is yelling and shouting at them.
Cancel the case!
Let us
Let's
be
take
free!
the
Right.
case!
Suddenly, the door to the courthouse opens. Joseph Grimwald, with Tommy following, comes out from the doorway. The crowd quiets, but doesn't fully stop shouting things.
What is all this commotion happening outside a court of law?
You took my home away from me. Go to hell!
How am I supposed to live without my farm?
You got a lot of nerve coming here.
Oh, settle down, people. I can assure you that every case today is being treated equally and fairly.
My ass!
Yeah!
The men in court all have not paid the proper taxes to New York. We are giving them a fair chance to make their mistakes right.
This isn't New York land, and we're sick of hearing you say it is.
What authority do you have to come and say what you want?
I could say the same to you all. On behalf of the colony of New York, I am here to ensure that order is kept in these times of tension.
Bullshit! You're here to make sure we lose our homes.
Yeah!
Calm down, everyone!
We're the people of this town, and we decide what goes on in it. You're not gonna let us dictate us.
The crowd starts to rush forward, but stops as the redcoats lift their muskets towards the crowd.
Good God, have you people gone mad? A few men form a group to cause mayhem in the colonies, and you all lose your decency of humanity.
We don't need no militia to protect us.
We're stronger than you already.
I will have my soldiers arrest every single one of you if you do not dissipate this area immediately.
Like hell we're doing that.
The
Get
mob
'em!
rushes the courthouse.
Fire!
4 shots are fired. 4 people of the mob fall to the ground. The mob's courage turns into fear as they all run away from the courthouse. 2 of the fallen are dragged off in the chaos, leaving 2 dead on the ground.
Idiots! If they would have just listened to my orders, I wouldn't have blood on my coat. Tommy, I think we're done here. Leave this as a message to the Green Mountain boys that if they attempt to continue their tirade, more lives will be lost.
Sir, these are innocent lives. We can't leave them here. They deserve a proper burial.
It's Colonel to you. These good for nothings don't deserve anything. They were planning to kill us if we didn't move out of the way.
You can't say that for certain.
A mob was intending to kill us, and that is what will be in the report. Tommy, I brought you along because you listened, not for any back talking. When we arrive back at the fort, I will be moving you to sentry duty indefinitely. Understand.
Yes, Colonel.
Let's move out. Now.
Joseph Grimwald and his soldiers exit. There's silence on the stage. The dead remain motionless, waiting for someone to find them. Seth, Baker, and Ira enter.
Oh my god! What the hell happened here? Baker, check on those two.
Baker goes to check on the two deceased bodies.
Are they going to be all right?
There's musket shots in them. They're dead.
Oh, good God. There were just supposed to be a few court cases over land possession. How on earth did this happen?
A woman runs out onto stage, sobbing over to one of the bodies.
John! How could they?
Ma'am, what happened?
They killed him! God, why did this happen to us?
Who did this?
A wicked man! A wicked, wicked man! John, come back to me, please!
Do you know his name?
Grimwald! The evil man, it's Grimwald!
That bastard came here. I'm gonna kill him.
You know him?
Ma'am, we're going to avenge your husband's death. Ira, help Mrs. Sanchez up and take her somewhere where she can collect herself. Baker and I will stay here.
Come on, do you have a family we can go to?
He was my family.
We'll find some of your friends.
Ira and Elizabeth exit.
Oh, this is bad. They're publicly killing us now.
I don't believe this.
I can't let them go after our people. I can't let them go after our people like they did this to my family.
Once word of this spreads, more people are going to want to join us.
And let them join. The more people, the better the odds.
We'll need proper time to train them.
To hell with that, there's no time. Where is Ethan?
Ethan arrives at the scene.
Ethan?
I saw Ira. Innocent blood has been spilled. I've led these people and I've let this happen.
Ethan, this isn't your fault.
How isn't it my fault, Seth? We promised protection. Now look at them.
We gotta go after Grimwald, Ethan.
We're not even certain where Grimwald is.
Seth, people are getting murdered. We have to act now before they come back to kill again.
I failed them.
Ethan, focus. You couldn't have done anything to stop this. Grimwald's scared, and Baker's right. We need to hit him while he's scared.
Those poor families.
They'll only find solace if we make this right.
I don't know.
Ethan, come on. Step up and lead us like we know you can. Just because they're fighting back doesn't mean we have to give in now.
Ethan, we need you. Your family, not just to us, but to all those people. Only you can fix this.
Okay. Seth, round up the boys. Grimwald won't see the light of another day.
I'll gather as many men as I can.
Seth exits. Let the New York butchers sleep while they can. They painted the Westminster floorboards in our brother's blood, thinking a few murders would break our backs. They haven't broken us. They're unchained us. By the great Jehovah, I will make them choke on every ounce of lead they fired. They want a riot? I'll give them a reckoning that will make every Yorker tremble. We aren't just defending land anymore. We are hunting wolves. Tomorrow, there will be no petitions. There will be no mercy. We march to Fort Ticonderoga to settle the dead in kind. Why did I write that? For every drop of blood they spilled, we'll take a gallon of their pride. Light fades out. Scene 13, Bennington Tavern. Ethan, Seth, Baker, and Ira are all gathered around a table at the center of the tavern with all of the Green Mountain boys there to receive word of the next step.
Men, we have gathered here today for what is going to be the most important moment in our lives. We, the people, have sworn to protect and cultivate the land that we now live on. For every redcoat that tried to take our livelihoods away, we fought back. But now our oath both to this land and to this militia will be tested in ways not seen before. Earlier today, British soldiers massacred the very streets of this town. We lost 2 great men today, but that is not going to hold us down. We are
going to march our way into the Tories' little fort and show them who the rightful rulers of the land are. We're bringing the fight to them.
Yeah! This expedition is going to be much more dangerous than anything we have done before. Some of us may die, but with the training most of us have, we can make it through together as one.
The plan is simple. By my brother's estimates, the fort is a few days' walk from here, which we'll begin heading out after we're done here. Once we've made it close to the fort, Benedict Arnold and his militiamen enter the tavern.
Bartender, give a whole round of rum for my men here.
Who are you?
Colonel Benedict Arnold of Massachusetts.
What are you doing in these parts?
I have been commissioned by the Massachusetts Committee of Safety to lead the seizure of the British fort of Ticonderoga under my command.
Under your command? What makes you think you can come in here and assume you can take control of my operation?
Your operation? Sir, you have no authority here. What are you talking about?
The Green Mountain Boys are taking Fort Ticonderoga. We don't need any help from the likes of you.
Green Mountain Boys? What a silly name.
You watch your tongue. We govern these lands.
Ah, come to think of it, I believe I have heard of your little group you call a militia.
There's nothing little about us.
Anyways, if you are all well-equipped men, then I offer you to join me in capturing the fort.
Not going to happen. You'll be lost traveling through these woods, and my men won't go anywhere under the command of anyone else unless it's me.
That's right.
I have been given control to capture the fort, and you are saying otherwise. It is not going to stop me and my men from capturing it.
Fine, then get out of this tavern. We don't want you here. Just when you get to the fort, don't expect us to let you in. The Green Mountain Boys start cheering and booing. Benedict Arnold and his crew begin to exit.
Wait, Ethan, joining forces will help our odds of taking the fort.
Ah, at least there is someone sensible here.
I won't have of it. I will not let some poltroon claim our victory as his own.
In it for the glory, are you? You just want your name to be heard when the fort is captured.
That's a lie. I'm here for the people that have suffered far too long from the likes of filth that reside in this fort.
Then join me in taking this fort if it means so much to you.
Ethan, we must.
I'd say we should, Ethan. More men means more of a fighting chance.
Fine. We'll work with you.
Excellent. I'm glad you came to the right mind.
But I'm to lead.
Oh, brother.
Like I said before, I will not let you lead my duty as I was commissioned to do.
My men won't go anywhere without me.
Ethan is my boss.
We won't listen to him!
Fine, you can still lead your men. How does that compromise sound?
Better.
Good God, man. What is it that you want?
I was elected to lead these men to better lives in these lands, and I intend to do so. I don't want some outsider to ruin our plan.
What exactly is your plan here?
We take the fort at night, capture all the soldiers, and I get my hands on Colonel Grimwald.
And afterwards?
We go home.
What about all the arms and munitions? What do you plan to do with those?
We have no intentions to do anything with the sorts.
That fort has valuable cannon power that can help Boston. Are you aware of how much benefit that can be towards the colony's current situation?
We are only concerned with our own freedom.
By God, you didn't even know.
It is not of a matter.
How does a fool like you get chosen to lead a militia? If it was not for me, you might have marched yourselves to your own demise, not knowing what waits before you at the fort.
And what is your mighty plan?
Same as yours. We take the fort by surprise during the night. It shouldn't be heavily guarded.
Then you're no greater than me. I have more men than it appears you have brought along, so I'll take charge of this expedition.
No, you will not.
I will.
Will not.
Will.
Will not.
Will.
Will not.
Hey, cut it out, you two. You're losing valuable daytime here. We need to move out now.
The chap is right. We'll end the bickering here. Men, let's...
Boys, let's get a move on. Follow my lead. Ethan Allen leads everyone out of the tavern as Benedict Arnold appears annoyed. Scene 14, Fort Ticonderoga. The stage is dimly lit. The fort gate is seen with a lowly guard protecting it. Ethan and Benedict are leading the group, sneaking behind bushes close to the gate. Two leaders are arguing to each other in a whisper.
I should have just kept my mouth shut. I had a good thing going with Grimwald.
Okay, boys, there's the gate. On my word, we strike.
No, when I say 3 of my men will rush the guard and incapacitate him.
Be quiet. You might take the whole fort with that gaping mouth of yours.
I'll let you know my mother told me I had a very small mouth when I was young.
You idiot! I don't mean the actual size of your mouth.
If anyone here would be a loudmouth, it would be you. Shush!
Get him!
No!
Green Mountain Boys rush Tommy. In fear, he attempts to shoot his musket, but it misfires into the open and he runs away. Damn, he ran off.
Fool! He probably just woke up the entire fort. He may get reinforcements and bring them here.
We'll have the fort captured long before he makes it back. Charge the fort, boys! The Green Mountain Boys and Arnold's men enter the fort. They capture all the people residing around the fort center. Benedict runs to the colonel's office, with Ethan chasing after him. They push and shove their way up the stairs, and Ethan makes it to the top first. Come out of there, you sons of British whores, or I'll smoke you out!
By what authority?
In the name of the great Jehovah and the Continental Congress!
What the hell are you talking about, man?
To scare the breeches right off of them. Now, whoever is in there, come out this instant or I'll stick true to my word.
Oh, I'm coming out.
Grimwald comes from the door, still somewhat clothed in his pajamas. How I've longed to see your face. Ethan punches Grimwald in the face.
By the Continental Congress, I am putting you under arrest.
You may as well kill me now. Spare me the humility. Let me die by the sword.
Bring him down and release him. I'll settle this on the behalf of all the people of the New Hampshire grants.
Oh, so you must be Ethan Allen, New Hampshire's fabled hero. I would have never expected you to look like that.
You've seen my face before. Remember Arlington? I was there. And now I'll be the final face you see before your death.
I can't recall.
Grimwald is thrown to the ground. Ethan is given a sword, and then he throws another down at the ground in front of Grimwald. Pick up the sword and fight me like a man. There's no civilians here for you to shoot down. Just a classic duel. You want an honorable death? Here it is.
Ethan, you might get hurt.
Don't worry about me. I won't let him lay a hair on me.
Oh, we'll see about that.
The two engage in a sword duel. The Green Mountain Boys cheer on Ethan as the two fight for their lives. Benedict watches on in disgust. In the end, Ethan emerged victorious. Grimwald is laying in the ground, almost ready to die.
Foolish boys. The royal crown will always own you. You'll never get your land freely.
I know. That's why I fight for the men of tomorrow, so they can have the freedoms men today seek to have.
See you in hell.
Not today. Joseph Grimwald dies.
Oh, I'm here? Let's hear it for our colonel!
Well, Arnold, I leave the munitions for you. You have your objectives, and I fulfilled mine here.
I appreciate what you have done, Alan, but the work has only just begun. The revolution needs strong leaders, and more British forts need to be captured in the area. Are you willing to help seize those? My men will stay here to prepare the movement of the cannons.
I'll take every chance to get back at New York.
Crown Point is just south of here, and it's poorly defended, just like this one. There's also Fort George.
I'll have Seth take charge at Crown Point. The men will follow him as if he was me.
I'd recommend heading out tomorrow morning. We still don't know where that redcoat ran off to.
We'll figure that out if anything happens. Let's enjoy the splendor of our victory we find ourselves in. You just be what? Just be Green Mountain Boy.
Hey, Colonel!
Yes?
Hey, Colonel Allen! Look what we found the redcoats hiding.
Another Green Mountain Boy runs on stage with a barrel of rum. Looks like there's something here actually worth the value. Let's celebrate, boys!
Yeah!
Benedict Arnold grabs Ethan's shoulder and suggests his sword.
Don't think about it, Alan.
Relax, Arnold. We'll be fine for tomorrow. Boys, gather round. Bring the rum over here. All the Green Mountain Boys gather around Ethan Allen. Seth and Baker stand aside him. Benedict Arnold shrugs him off and exits the stage. Friends and fellow soldiers, you have, for a number of years past, been a scourge and terror to our arbitrary power. Your valor will be famed abroad and acknowledged by future history books. As we continue to capture the British forts that occupy this land guarding the Lake of Champlain, we will show that British are no longer hold any authority over these lands, as well to the Yorkers, that we are a set of different people, not belonging to New York, but to New Hampshire. I thank each and every one of you for dedicating yourselves to the pursuit of freedom for all. But enough of all of that. Let's celebrate our victory over Grimwald and Fort Ticonderoga. To the Green Mountain Boys!
The Green Mountain Boys!
The curtain closes. End of show. Yes. Thank you very much for everyone being there. I know we had to kind of jump on in the moment. There's some people we lost, so we had to get people to do lines. But no, I was very thankful for all that. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Peak.
Yeah. I mean, most of it was based in truth. Only like Grimwald was like a fake, and Tommy are the two fake people. But like,
supposed to be like a closet homosexual.
That's weird. Dude.
There was definitely
there's something going on there.
That's in the sequel. That's in Act 2. That's in the secret Act 2. They read.
Grimwald reanimates.
Tommy hears of his death and acts revenge on Ethan Allen.
It's actually
it's still recording. It's
Romeo and Juliet.
But yeah, no, everything the killing at the courthouse was also true. I for some reason was in such a writing mode. I brought up Westminster, even though that's a Westminster, even though it's a different town than Bennington. But in Westminster, 2 people were killed, and which led Ethan Allen to really want to take Fort Ticonderoga, and everything else is basically it. I mean, I hope I made Benedict Arnold's and Ethan's relationship show that they hate each other, but maybe I could have done more. But is there anything you guys have to say about it as well, or any questions or any improvements? There's definitely grammatical things I need to still work on in here. But,
I would think having some sort of scene that ties up, was it Ethan Allen's wife or remember Baker? It was Ethan Allen's wife and kid. Like I felt like that was kind of unresolved. Whether it should be resolved in a bad way or a good way.
Don't worry, ZZ, that's gonna get resolved in song.
No, I mean, one of the hard things is like literally all like the historical research I can get on like Ethan's wife is that she was an ass to him, and like all I hear is that he left her because like historically he did just argue at a bar and like Massachusetts didn't want him in the colony anymore. So I'm just like thinking like, well, obviously that means he just had to leave his wife because there's no mention of his wife coming with him. So while it's very uncertain what he actually does because he stays married to his wife until she dies in 82, which he then remarries. But like he became very depressed during that time while like it might not have been 82, I think it was earlier, it was still during the revolution, but he became very depressed, which like led to him also like being very sad when he got captured in Canada. But yeah, there's not much about his wife, and then he has another one. And like the mentioning of his children, he did I think Lucy was one of his real children. I chose her because there's like 2 actual children we know survived, but there's multiple children that died of his. But I couldn't really figure out when or where or how much anything. There's like one notable child of Ethan Allen, which is Fanny Allen, who was the first ever nun in the colonies or something, like first Catholic nun. So she's kind of like known in history for that, but Fanny is not in this. And what happens afterwards, Ethan Allen and the group, Continental Congress recognizes them for their victories at Fort Ticonderoga and the surrounding forts, as Benedict Arnold mentions. And they actually appoint Seth Warner as the leader of a regiment in the Continental Army rather than Ethan, because I viewed Ethan as too jumpy. He's not a good leader. He'll like just immediately jump to something, while Seth stays like noble and thought and like thinks first before acting. Which they then, but the Green Mountain Boys loved Ethan so much they refused to go anywhere. So Ethan took his own men up to Canada to try to capture Quebec and Montreal, where they got captured, and Ethan had to go and got sent over to Britain, but then got traded back in a prisoner exchange. But and remember Baker, I threw in a line about how he would not stop fighting only way he would stop fighting was to get his head cut off. He got decapitated while going up to Canada by a Native American. He was the scout for the group, and during like a night or something, Native Americans scalped him and decapitated him and carried around his head, and like that's how they knew of his death. So there's a lot more. Like on a pike. They scalped him and then like they killed him, scalped him, and then they decided to also just decapitate him to then show him off on a pike. Yeah, there's a lot. Like I originally wanted Act 2, and Act 2. Ira Allen would have been a much bigger role, as the reason why he was narrating in the beginning would be that he narrates and he keeps narrating until throughout Act 2 when he learns that Ethan has been captured and the story is taken over by him, and he then follows his journey into becoming one of the founding fathers of Vermont. But that's really boring compared to the violence and action in Act 1, so I decided to cut it in sakes of keeping people not bored.
Are you gonna have any more Newsies references?
There was no Newsies references.
Really?
There was inspiration taken on how a scene was built, but that is about it. But,
how about squashing people? Is that Trunchbull?
No, I just thought this is what I thought he would say.
That little back and forth that you had with
What?
that other guy, that was inspiration from Nice Work. You did that like 2
yeah,
or 3 times.
No, because I thought a funny way is to try to make sure that because the Benedict and Ethan's like hatred towards each other is very funny because like when Ethan wrote so I didn't put this in because I didn't know how to justify it without it just being like, okay, this just happened. Ethan was actually got commissioned by Connecticut to take Fort Ticonderoga. 2 days after Benedict was commissioned by Massachusetts to get Fort Ticonderoga, and they just so happened met at the Bennington Tavern, when they were both like trying to planning to head up to Fort Ticonderoga. They didn't mean to see each other, but they just immediately got pissed off at each other for doing it, and they did not want each other to lead. And when in the report back to the Connecticut, Ethan in the Continental Congress, Ethan says like, "Oh, I did this stuff." And he has no mention of Benedict Arnold, and says some random dude also helped lead Massachusetts with no mention at all of Benedict.
Heated rivalry.
Well, because in Benedict's letter, he's like, I got this stuff while like the Green Mountain Boys are quite crude, and the rum bit, they did drink 80 gallons of rum that night.
80?
What?
Wait, how many of them were there?
There was like 100 of the Green Mountain Boys, and the Continental Congress after the war had to pay the British back for all the rum they drank. So
They had it nice.
so 80 gallons of rum. They were quite a crude group. They would like sometimes like they would burn down Yorkers' houses just for being Yorkers. Like they wouldn't view Yorkers kind of as like less than human sometimes.
Yorker sounds like a slur.
Is that wrong?
Everything in this show sounded like a slur. But they hated they never did like tar and feathering, but they were gonna get to that level. They kept going, which But the reason they did originally call themselves the New Hampshire Men, but that is and the way they got Green Mountain Boys is kind of actually the real way they got it as well, because after hearing of the stuff they were doing in the grants, the governor of New York wrote that they would send them back to the Green Mountains, and they took that inspiration of his threat and said, to like make fun of him, let's call ourselves the Green Mountain Boys in response. So that actually
it's better than the New Hampshire.
It actually is a reason why I didn't just do that in there as a funny way to get them to how did they get their name. That is actually just how they did it.
Wow.
But yeah, that's kind of their story. They did a lot of stuff. Ira Allen founded UVM. He also died broke because he did all the land. Another thing, they did, while this is all was happening, I did mention that they were going to plan on buying the land. But actually, this is over a long period of time, but I kind of just put it all into like a short span of time. They did Heman did actually eventually come up as well, and they formed Onion Mill. I think that's what they called it, South Lake Onion Mill. And they just used it as a way to buy all the land in Vermont so the Yorkers couldn't get it, and they just continued to govern it. They had no money to actually pay for this land, but they had it anyways, and I don't think they ever paid it off, and Ira definitely didn't pay it off. I think the founding payment he made, the form UVM, he never actually paid for it. Like, it was on a loan, and he never paid it back. And he died penniless. So he was kind of a scoundrel with his money, and he was the first Vermont treasurer, which is ironic because he was not good at money at all. But he managed to get stuff done.
We've carried that theme through.
Yes. But
was their taking of Ticonderoga realistic? Did they actually just walk up and then scare off?
Yeah.
That is what happened.
Yes, actually. So no one got no one died in the taking of Fort Ticonderoga. Grimwald. I was just like, how do I justify Grimwald? I thought it was anticlimactic if they just take Fort Grimwald and are like, we did it, guys. End of show. So I'm like, add some spectacle, kill off the fictional characters so no one has to worry about them. But when they got to the fort, there was just one guard out at the front, and when they came marching up to him, he tried firing and then misfired, and he just ran off. And so that is true that basically they just scared a redcoat off, and they just went in and just easily got everything. There was one guy got scraped, and that's it. And Ethan Allen's writings when he was captured, he said that I almost killed a redcoat lad, but at the last second I changed my direction of my sword slash and just scrape his shoulder to warn him. I don't think that even happened. Even in it, he talked to what he says when he runs up to the door to get the colonel out. People always say by great Jehovah in the Continental Congress. He probably didn't say that. He didn't even, but because they say he said it because the guy inside says, by what authority are you taking me, and that's what he says, and realistically, the Redcoats had no idea what he was talking about because no one knew what the Continental Congress really was at the time because this is 1775, it was just newly founded, but the thing he says about the British mothers of British, that is something he most likely said. He said that he would smoke them out and also probably called them rats. But so I said something realistic. He probably said and also something that everyone knows just to appease the masses. And yeah, I think Remember Baker actually was there.
He was?
I think I remember reading that he actually was there because. Right. I think him and Seth actually both went and took the other forts. So Remember was there. Ira was not, however. Ira stayed behind because he was like 20 years old and he was just a little goober and he was scared of conflict. So he just always stayed behind and tried to make his money. Yeah.
Is the romance between Hammond and Mary real?
What do you mean?
What?
Because they were like, oh, she took good care of me. I wish.
No, I just did that just to make her show how much she really hates Ethan.
Oh, okay.
Because no, it was real. It is realistic. When he left, he did leave Heman to help take care of the family, and I just said, how do I further emphasize that Mary does not really like her husband? And I just decided that she should throw up that one-off comment, like maybe I should have married him instead. To show just how because Ethan. We pay him out as a hero, but he's not truly a hero. He's a complex character,
like the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes, because yes, he does have these ambitions for liberty, but he also just likes to be insert himself as the right thinker and stuff. Because he published 3 books on his philosophy, and they're quite a read. And the White Stallion comment is a true comment. He did say that to his family. He did believe
his family?
He did say he believed that he would be reincarnated as a white stallion when he died. So I had to throw that in there to show that the absurd things he says. But yeah, I throughout.
I'm gonna be a white stallion.
Throughout, I tried to incorporate as many times as I can quotes of what they actually said. So if sometimes it sounds very poetic, it is just because he did really say that. But yeah, I hope it wasn't sticking out too much from my subpar writing.
No, I think that was fire.
Yeah. Oh.
Does this have enough literary merit to work for FRQ3?
Yes. I'm gonna upload this video and recording to YouTube, and then that's gonna be they're gonna have to look this up. They're Those Turbulent Sons of Freedom, the play by Daniel Bailu. They're gonna see it. They're like, oh, I get what she was writing about. Showing the complex relationship Ethan is wanting for glory and is also whatever. Yeah. Isaac, you say something?
No, I did.
Oh.
You should convince Lanny for us to do this.
No, I think this should be the one act.
This would be so much better.
It might be. Bro.
Yes, please. And
it obviously needs fixes, but I mean, I tried to keep the set minimalistic. I wanted pictured for the set basically.
It literally says on the back.
Are you joking?
Oh yeah, at the back there's diagrams of the set.
This is more set pieces than we had in Night's
So,
Work. Yeah.
but basically it's 3 walls. But the most set pieces are just 3 tables and chairs, so which is very easy.
You even need that many chairs.
A bar.
Probably.
Well, I'm assuming because since I only have ever watched musicals, I think I had this. My writing of this was kind of is if it's a musical because I have an ensemble a play.
Then just change it to a music.
A play. That's why I had him write 2 songs just to show proof of concept.
All right, boy.
He wrote a ballad or a duet between his wife and him at the beginning, and he also wrote a finale where they're like, "We've done it. We are Vermont." But Vermont, the title of Vermont never came around until 1777. So this is 2 years after Vermont was coined. So they called it the Grants for the longest time, because they truly wanted it just to be New Hampshire. But after a while of New York saying "Nuh-uh, we're not letting you have it," they got sick and they're like, "All right, we're just gonna form our own republic and not be a colony," which they almost tried to join the British halfway through the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Ethan Allen got scared after he returned. He got scared that America was gonna lose, so he started getting the talks with the British if Vermont could join the Great Britain.
That's crazy.
I know. So he's kind of. I mean, it kind of shows that he maybe you could see it as he was always trying to put his people first, But I don't know. You could also see his like
He's trying to
betrayal
save
of
his
his
ass.
Well, he
Yeah.
also did it like to scare the British as well.
I don't know.
Or, no, not scare the Americans.
Yeah, but no, but
be like, if you
I-
don't treat us right, we're gonna join your.
I know. I mean, but George Washington did see him as a noble figure. He did make a comment on him after the taking of Fort Ticonderoga. Probably thanks to just what Ethan said about himself. So George only had that to go off of. But
I'm a white stallion.
Yay! But yeah, no. It's I thought just like making a play about Vermont history has been interesting, and wearing this because this is what the Warner's regiment wore during it, which yeah, it was pretty cool.
They
Pretty
would
neat.
have never seen them in the bushes.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. But yeah,
Oddly shaped red stripes.
But yeah, they struck Fort Ticonderoga at 4 a.m. So yeah, it was a pretty easy job for them because Fort Ticonderoga was built and like very utilized during the French and Indian War, and after that it kind of just like became disheveled, and the British didn't really care to repair it, so they just kept some like munitions there and like just 100 people, like some soldiers and their families there. So, but it was a very vital like early victory in the American Revolutionary War because this is like 3 months after Concord and Lexington, and so that the cannons brought from Fort Ticonderoga did eventually free the siege of Boston. So thanks to these cannons, like Boston was able to break free of British control. So yeah.
Can we have a